Welcome to lesson 10.4. Here's your objective. I'll be able to find the surface area of triangular prisms. It's going to be sort of like rectangular prisms, finding all the faces area and then adding them up. Just to tell you right now, hopefully I don't make any mistakes. I just got done with taking care of Mr. Griffo, Mr. Woodcock, and Mr. France at some basketball. So we'll see how my brain's working after my body just had a good workout. Let's get started. All right, the surface area of a triangular prism is the sum of the areas of the two triangular bases, base and base. Now this is opened up. So if you're looking over here, there's your one base, there's your other. All right, the sum of the two bases and the three rectangular faces. So a triangular prism has two triangle bases, and then it has three rectangular or square bases. All right, so when you add it up, it should be your two bases, your base times two, because your base will be the same top and the bottom, and then your three faces. Now sometimes, like in this picture, it looks like all the faces are the same, but a lot of times, and certainly today, they will be different. All right, so you just can't do face times three. Each face will be different. They could be the same, but a lot of times they'll be different. All right, so let's take a look at this one. This is the same picture. This is the triangular prism as it is shaped, and this is if you were to open it up. There's your two bases. So let's take a look over here, because a lot of times you're going to see it like this. Let's find our base. Now remember, to find the area of a triangle, it's half base times height or base times height divided by 2. All right, so let's see here. I have a base of 1, so 1 times my height, which is 0.9, and divide that by 2, and that'll give me that triangle. So 1 times 9/10, my point right there. I don't know if you can see that. Could we see that? 1 times 0.9 equals, well, 9/10. 9/10 divided by 2, well, 90 divided by 2 is 45, so 9/10 divided by 2 would equal 0.45. Well, this is kind of, in a way, it's sort of silly. I'm just doing all the work because now I'm going to multiply it by 2 because I have two bases. So 45 hundredths times 2 will bring me right back to 0.9 or 9/10. All right, so if that sounded confusing, you know how when you find the area of a triangle, you divide by 2? Essentially, you don't have to divide by 2 because you're just going to multiply by 2 to get the other base. So if you're going to do every step, which I recommend, you find the area of that triangle, which we did, base times height divided by 2. I'll do it again. 1 times 9/10, all right, and then I divide that by 2. So 1 times 9/10 again was 9/10. And 9/10 divided by 2, if you do it out, it would equal 45 hundredths. So that is one base. But I have two of them, so it's 45 hundredths times 2. So I do 45 hundredths times 2, and I get back to 9/10. All right? So my two bases so far, remember, it's your two bases plus your three faces. All right, my two bases so far equaled 9/10. So to find the rest of this surface area, I have to find my three faces. Now these are rectangles, so it's just base times height. So over here, my first face, I'll do over here. My base is 2, and my height is 1. So 2 times 1 equals 2. So I found my first face. So I'm going to put that in there as 2. Now my second face is across the way. It looks like it's going to be the same size because if I erase this, all right, along here, this dotted line is the same. It's parallel. It's 2. So I have 2 times the height of 1 again, which would equal 2. All right, so two of my faces are the same. My last face is actually going to be the same again because I have a base or a height of 2 and a base of 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So actually this time all three were the same. So my total surface area is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 9/10. That would equal 6 and 9/10. So the surface area is 6 9/10. These are centimeters squared because we're finding area. Surface area is just area, but all the sides added up. There's 5 sides. So if I break it down, this would have been 2 centimeters area. This would have been 2 centimeters. This area is 2 centimeters. And then this area would have been 45 hundredths. And 45 hundredths, when I add it all up, 2, 4, 6, and 45 hundredths plus 45 hundredths equals 9, I don't think you see that, equals 9/10. So therefore, it is 6 9/10 is my answer. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one might be easier to see. I like this one better, so let's pay close attention. Now, once again, I'm going to have 2 bases. I have one right here. 2 triangular bases. The other one is over here. It's going to be the same exact dimensions. All right, so the same area. So when I find this one, I just multiply by 2. But before I go into that, I just wanted to show you what it looked like opened up. Let's take a look. That same figure, if I were to break it into pieces, I would have my 2 triangular bases and then 3 rectangular faces. And as we could see, these ones are all going to be different. They're going to be different. So let's pay close attention here. Let's do my bases first. So I'm going to put 2b plus 1 face plus the other face plus the third rectangular face. So to find the area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So I have 15 times 8, and then I'll divide it by 2 afterwards. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 equals 12, so 120. So I take so base times height equaled 120. I have to divide that by 2, and I get 60. So my one base equals 60. The area of that one base equals 60. But I have 2, so the base is 60, and I have 2 of them. 60 times 2 equals 120. We sort of knew that because if we divide by 2 and then multiply by 2, we're going to get right back where we started. So I have 120 plus the area of my 3 faces. So I can go any order I want to, but I'm going to start with this big face in front, which has a base of 20 and a height of 17. So I do 20 times 17. Here we go. 7 times 0, 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Add it up, and I get 0, 4, 340. So my first face, this big gigantor over here, if I look back at the next page, it's my biggest. I did 17 times 20, so it's this one, the biggest face, equaled 340. So I'm going to erase one face. I suggest you do the same, one step at a time. A problem might take a while, but just take your time. Let's do the next face. So I'm going to erase this piece that I have. And my next face, if you could see it, is on the other side. It's kind of this piece right here. So if that's 20, then my base of this one would be 20 as well. So I have a 20, and my height would be 8. So I have to do 20 times 8 this time to get my next face. Here we go. 0 and 8 times 2 is 16. Base times height equals 160. I have one more face to go. So my 2 bases were 120, triangular bases. My first face was 340. My next face is 160. I have one more to go, and it's the bottom one. It's this one. Let me erase this. It's this bottom one right here. So if I were to draw my rectangle, it would look like this. Sometimes you have to draw it and so you can see it a little better. So it looks like I have a base of 15 and a height of 20. Here we go. 20 times 15 will give me my last face. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. And I get a total of 300. All right, so my last face was 300. So if I look at all my faces together here, here's my first face, or the last face I just did was a 15 by 20, got me 300. my first face was a 17 times 20, base times height, got me 340, and my smallest face was an 8 by 20. 8 times 20 equals 160. So the last step after all that is adding them all together. So I'm going to put a vertical, 300, 160. I'm just going backwards, but it doesn't matter which order I add them in because of the commutative property. Going to add them all together, I get 0. 0 plus 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 3, 4, 5, plus 3 is 8, 9. 920. Wow, 920 meters, because it's area, it's squared. 920 meters squared is your answer. Let me check to be sure. And I am correct. I just checked the teacher's book. We're all good. I did that the right way. So good for me. So I guess Mr. Griffo, Mr. Woodcock, and Mr. Francie really didn't tire me out too much. You guys only have one problem, all right, because I want you to really focus on this problem. I want you to figure out in your notebooks or on your paper, I want to see what your actual base is. Your triangular base, and then you're going to multiply it by 2. And then you're going to have 3 faces. All right, let's make sure you can see this. Let's bring this in all the way here. Get a little close. Let's see, can we see this a little better here? All right. We have a face right here, which looks like, let's do one face together. The base is all the way across, looks like it's 14 meters, and the height of this one is 5. So I'm going to get your first face for you right here, and it'll be 14 times 5. All right, then you have to find the other faces, which looks like there's one right here. All right, looks like we have another 14. You got to figure out the height. Might be the same as the other one. They could be the same. Looks like both sides might be a 14 by 5. And then you have to find the bottom one. All right, the bottom one looks like this. So you might want to draw this out yourself. And you can see you have a 5. All right, and then how far is it? So don't forget the formula. It is 2 of your triangular bases plus one face plus another face plus a third face. And you should be good. I know I just wrote that and you can't see that. There it is. There's your formula. Find your 2 triangular bases plus your 3 faces and you should be good to go. All right? Good luck and we'll see you tomorrow.